Starting 1568, the Dutch, formerly under Spain, fought the Spaniards for independence in a bitter 80-year war. In the closing years of that war, battles between the Dutch and the Spaniards were also fought in Asia, far from Europe. One of those battles was fought in Philippine waters. That battle, actually, a series of 5 engagements, came to be known as Naval de Manila. Like the other European powers, the Dutch also wanted colonies in the east. In 1642, they seized Formosa. They also claimed Indonesia for their own. In these two places, they positioned a large number of warships. They set their eyes next on the Philippines, the Asian colony of their enemy. They knew that once or twice a year, a galleon sailed between Mexico and Manila, the famed Manila Galleon. From Manila, the galleon sailed to Mexico laden with spices, silk and other valuable goods. From Mexico, it returned to Manila full of silver. The capture of the Manila Galleon was the dream of many who sailed the sea, the Dutch no exception. In 1646, the Dutch made their move.
18 warships, divided into 3 squadrons, were formed to invade the Philippines. Their commander was Martin Heritzfries. The first squadron consisted of 5 warships. Its mission was to attack Ilocos and Pangasinan. The objective was to stir up the natives to revolt against Spain, and to seize barges and goods coming from China. The second squadron was made up of 7 warships. They were to sail to Zamboanga. From there, they were to proceed to San Bernardino Strait, where the Manila Galleon usually passed. The third squadron had 6 warships. They were to sail to Manila, and stand by to reinforce the first and second squadrons when needed. After the typhoon season, these 3 squadrons were to converge as one armada outside Manila Bay to attack the city.
At that time, the Philippines was in a very weak position. A series of volcanic eruptions took place between 1633 and 1640.
Food shortage at the same time crippled the capital. A war was fought against the Muslims of Mindanao led by Sultan Kudarat in 1635. From 1639 to 1640, a Sangli rebellion resulted in the loss of lives and damage to resources. Numerous losses of sea vessels, which sailed to and from Mexico, from 1638 to 39, not only disrupted the Manila-Acapulco trade, they also reduced the naval strength of Manila. By early February 1646, the first Dutch squadron had reached the Ilocos and Pangasinan region. The Dutch tried to incite the natives to revolt against Spain, promising them independence and freedom from taxes. When the natives refused, the Dutch plundered their homes. The arrival of Spanish soldiers forced the Dutch to return to their ships. In Manila, news of the Dutch presence caused the government to act. Since what could be called a navy was non-existent, 2 old ships were hastily drafted, the Encarnacion and the Rosario. These ships were more suited for hauling cargo than for war. To arm these ships, every cannon in the city was sequestered. Appointed commander of this lightweight force was General Lorenzo Ugalde de Orellana. Acting on reports from sentinels that the Dutch squadron was near Mariveles, Orellana set out to find them. But the enemy was not where he was supposed to be. The Spaniards sailed farther north, to Bolinao, near Lingayen. There they spotted a small Dutch or propelled boat, which quickly fled. The boat returned later, this time with its big brothers. The Dutch squadron had been found. It was 1 p.m., March 15, 1646. A classic naval battle tactic is crossing the T. Here, a ship, or ships, takes the position of the bar in the letter T. It can thus fire all of its guns broadside, while the enemy is limited to using only its forward gun. Orellana must have crossed the T before the Dutch could. The Dutch fired first, but missed. The Encarnacion replied and drew first blood. The Dutch flagship was hit. For 4 hours, the 2 sides exchanged fire, with the Spaniards scoring more hits than the Dutch. Around 7 p.m., the Dutch called it quits. 4 of their ships had been seriously hit. They fled in the darkness, with their lanterns out.
The Spanish fleet sustained only minor damage. None of their men had been killed, and only a few were wounded.